The three props that I'm recommending for our practice today are the small bolster, block, and blanket. And I'm recommending that we start lying down using either the small bolster or a rolled blanket under the knees. If that's not comfortable for you, then forget that and do something else. But that's my recommendation. Stretch out on your mat. And before settling into stillness, take a full body stretch. Send your fingers back behind you as far as possible. Point your toes. Lengthen through your whole body. Take a deep breath. And then allow your arms to come down to your sides. Allow your eyes to close. And let your whole body relax. You may notice an initial release of tension, of tightness. But as you remain here in stillness, breathing, you feel areas soften even more. And feel your shoulders melt into the mat. Feel your hips melt into the mat. Let go of everything. And let yourself be right here in this moment. Notice your breath. Feel the path of the breath as it enters the body, fills the body, and as it leaves the body. You don't need to make that happen, right? That happens on its own. Just enjoy that, knowing that that's all that's needed right now. All the other stuff is set aside. Just while you're here on the mat, let that go. And enjoy the beauty of this moment. This breath. Our practice this morning will be at a slow pace. Please take your time with all the movements. We'll take our time as we transition from posture to posture. We'll take our time in each posture. Give yourself permission to slow down. We'll prepare the body for movement by focusing on the breath, bringing some energy into the breath. I like to build energy on the inhalations and use the exhalations to send the energy down through the limbs. To start to awaken the hands, feet. And gently turn your head one direction, rest there for a breath. And back up to center. And turn your head the other direction and rest there for a breath. Back to center. And stretch your arms overhead. And reach your fingers back, point your toes. Feel the beautiful space you're creating. And lower your arms back down. And bend your knees one at a time. And plant your feet on the mat. Slide any support off to the side. And keeping your arms down at your sides, the knees stacked over ankles, feet hip width distance apart, press down through your feet, and lift your hips up for a gentle bridge. Continue rooting your shoulders and your upper arms down into the mat. And start to lift your heels. Just notice the change in sensation. And lower your heels back down. Lift the toes and the balls of the feet. Again, noticing any change. Lower the balls of the feet and the toes back down. And lower your hips back down. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. And place your hands on the back of your right thigh. We're going to move into a half happy baby. Open the sole of the right foot to the sky and bring the right leg over to the right a bit, as if you could draw the right knee down towards the mat next to the rib cage. And draw some circles with your toes, getting some movement in your ankle. And then let your foot come to stillness and keep your right leg in, maybe just wrapping your right arm around your right leg. Bring your left hand to the left frontal hip bone. And you can stay right here or start to slide your left heel towards the foot of the mat, straightening the left leg any amount. Relax your face, relax your shoulders. And if you've straightened the left leg, the bend back in the knee, reconnecting the sole of the foot to the mat. And release your right leg. Extend your right leg, let it rest on the mat. And stretch your right arm overhead. Point your toes, stretch your right fingers back, open up through your right side. And lower your right arm back down. And bend your right knee, plant your right foot on the mat. And get ready for another bridge. Root down through your feet, root down through your shoulders. Lift your hips up. You might lift a little higher this time. Just notice how things feel. And then just as before, lift your heels. Notice how that changes things. Different areas that awaken. Lower the heels back down, then lift the toes and the balls of the feet. Notice changes there. Lower the balls of the feet and the toes back down. And gently lower the hips back down. Now bring the left knee in towards the chest, hands to the back of the thigh. We'll find our half happy baby on this side, opening the sole of the left foot to the sky, drawing the left leg over to the left a bit. You can keep both hands on your thigh if that feels better. Otherwise, just wrap the left arm around the left thigh, bring your right hand to your right frontal hip bone, and either stay there or slide the right heel down. You can draw some circles with your left toes. And let your foot be still. And just breathe. Put the bend back in the knee if you've straightened. And plant the sole of the right foot on the mat. And find a gentle release of the left leg. Once your left foot comes down to the mat, begin to slide your left heel down towards the foot of the mat. Stretch your left arm overhead. Create as much space as you can from the left fingertips down through the left toes. And lower the left arm back down, put the bend back in the left knee. Getting ready for another bridge. And press down through your feet, through your shoulders. Lift your hips up even higher. And lift your heels. Lower your heels down. And lift your toes and the balls of the feet. Lower the balls of the feet and the toes back down. And lower your hips down. Open your knees out to the sides, bringing the soles of the feet together to touch. Place your hands on your belly. And feel the movement of the breath. This breath right here in this moment. Now bring your hands to the outsides of the thighs. Knees come back up to center. Pull one knee and then the other in towards the chest. And find our happy baby. Separate the knees, open the soles of the feet to the sky. The hands can stay on the backs of the thighs, or they can come to the calves, maybe to the ankles, maybe even to the feet. You could hold on to the outer edges of the feet. You could hold on to the inner arches. You could hold on to the big toes, or maybe you bring the palms to the soles of the feet, fingertips, reaching towards the heel as the toes settle into the wrists. Here in your happy baby, pull the knees down, but press the feet back up and get even more of your spine to connect deeply to the mat. Now a gentle release. Lower your feet back down to the mat. Once your feet come down, bring your feet just a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Stretch your arms straight out to the sides from your shoulders and let your knees rock very gently from side to side. Notice how things feel as you do this. Notice changes from one side to the other. And come back to center. Lower your arms down to your sides. Bring the feet back in hip width distance apart. Cross your right ankle onto your left thigh. Feel the energy of sending the right leg away. You might even use your right hand on your right thigh for a few breaths. Just gently press. And we'll keep the leg in that position, but allow your right arm to come back down. Root down through your left foot and start to lift your hips. Keep pressing down through your shoulders, your upper arms. And if you'd like, add the lift of the heel. And if you've lifted the heel, you'll lower the heel back down and lift the toes and the ball of the foot. You'll lower the ball of the foot and the toes back down. Stay right here and lift your hips just a little higher. Relax your face, relax your shoulders. And then take your time lowering your hips back down. And pause there for a breath. Notice all the muscles that relax and release. And then lift your left foot off the mat. Draw the left leg in closer to the torso, still thinking about sending the right leg away, whether you use your right hand to do that or not. You may choose to use your left hand on your left leg. You might choose to slide your right arm through the triangle you've created and interlace your fingers on the back of your left thigh. And then you can use your right elbow to press the right leg away. Send your left foot up to the sky, straightening out the left leg. And then bend. Straighten. And bend. And this time when you straighten, stay there and press up through your heel. Pull your left leg in just a little closer. And bend your left knee once again. And lower your left foot down to the mat. Keep the legs in this position. Stretch your arms out to your sides from your shoulders. You may want some support over on the left side of the mat. We're going to move into a twist with the legs staying glued together just the way they are, ankle to thigh. As you roll to the outer edge of the left foot, left ankle, you feel whole outer edge of the left leg and the sole of the right foot coming down to or towards the mat. The support is helpful if the foot doesn't come all the way down. And find the stretch through your right side, the outside of the right hip. And turn your head to the right. Bring your head back to center. Take your time bringing your legs back up to center. And once you get there, uncross your right leg. Bring the sole of the right foot down to the mat. Arms down at your sides. You may want to just shift the hips a bit and get comfortable again. And then we'll keep the right foot planted as you cross the left leg over the right, ankle to thigh. And we start out by sending the left leg away gently, whether you use the hand or not. And then let your left arm come down to your side. Root down through your right foot and through your shoulders and lift your hips up. If you'd like, add the lift of your heel. If you've lifted the heel, lower it back down. Lift your toes on the ball of the foot. And lower the ball of the foot and the toes back down. Lift your hips a little higher as you root down through the entire sole of your right foot. Press down through your shoulders. Relax your face. And slowly lower the hips back down. And then lift your right foot off the mat. Pull the right leg in, continuing to send the left leg away. If you'd like to hold on to the right leg, do that. Just the right hand, maybe both hands, back of the thigh. And send your right heel up to the sky. And bend your knee again. And straighten. And bend. And this time when you straighten, stay there. Press your heel up. And pull your straight right leg in even closer. Put the bend back in the right knee. Lower your right foot down to the mat. You may want some support on the right side of the mat now. You stretch your arms straight out to your sides from your shoulders. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot, right ankle, allowing the legs to lower down to the right, but keeping the same shape. Ankle connected to the thigh. Knee up to the sky. And allow your head to turn to the left. Relax and breathe. And bring your head back to center. Bring your legs back to center. Uncross your left leg. Prepare for one more bridge, arms down at your sides. Press down through your feet, press down through your shoulders. See how high you can lift this time. And lower your hips back down. And take a couple breaths. And roll to your side. And press yourself up. And come into table. On hands and knees. And once you come into your table, just find whatever movement comes naturally. Could be cow and cat stretches, could be hip circles, could be sending your hips from side to side, maybe back to child's pose and back up. See what you need. And from our table, we'll walk the hands forward to a kneeling plank, curl the toes under, lift your knees, find your high point, and lift to downward facing dog. Just as in our table, you find movement in your downward facing dog. Walk your feet towards your hands, forward fold. And keep a nice bend in your knees as you tuck your chin and roll up to standing very slowly. When you reach the top, sweep your arms up to the sky, right hand around your left wrist. Pull up and over, open through your left side. And back up to center and the other direction. And back up to center. Lower your arms down. Roll the shoulders up and back. And then send your arms out in front. Palms face one another. Inhale, open your arms, lift your chest, squeeze your glutes, lift your gaze. And exhale, come forward once again. Fingertips come together to touch. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. One more time. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. This time, arms up to the sky. Inhale. And exhale, dive down. Lead with your heart. Come down to a forward fold. In your forward fold, let your left fingertips or your left palm plant on the mat in front of and between your feet, and send your right arm out and up. Now you can use your block for your left hand if your left hand doesn't come down to the mat. Gaze to the right or up to the sky. Any bend in the knees is just fine. And lower your right hand back down. Plant the right hand now. Send the left arm out and up. Again, any bend in the knees is fine. Lower the hand back down. Plant the hands on the mat, step back to your high plank. Lift to downward facing dog. Come to your high plank once again. Set your knees down on the mat, kneeling plank. And as slowly as you can, lower down to your belly. Once you come down, press down through the tops of the feet. Feel your chin and chest up off the mat for baby cobra. And float your hands an inch or two above the mat. Pull the elbows down towards the hips. Pull the shoulder blades down the back. Let your hands lower back down. Lower your chest and chin back down. Then lift your chin and chest up once again. This time, press down through your hands. Peel your belly and thighs up off the mat. Straighten the arms, ending them out. Squeeze your glutes, engage your abs, and pull back to child's pose. And then back up through kneeling plank to downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog, step the right foot forward inside the right hand. Coming into a low lunge. And I encourage you to find a little movement here in your lunge. You could straighten and bend the right knee. You could take a twist. Just explore. We'll meet back in the stillness of the lunge. Spin your back heel down and rise to warrior two. Front body nice and open to the long edge of the mat as you stretch your arms straight out to your sides from your shoulders. Gaze beyond your right fingers. Relax the shoulders. Now bring your chin to center. Flip the palms forward. Inhale. As you exhale, bring the fingertips together out in front of you. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. One more time. Keep lunging into the right knee. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. This time, arms up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, arms down, shoulder height back to your warrior two. One more breath. Then bring your hands down to the mat, back to the low lunge. Spinning the back heel up. We'll step back to downward facing dog. And come forward to your high plank. And set your knees down on the mat, kneeling plank. This time, lower down just partway. Rib cage to elbows. Pull the elbows down towards the hips, shoulder blades down the back, gaze just off the top of the mat. Press back up, send your hips back towards your heels, child's pose. And back up to downward facing dog. This time in your downward facing dog, step your left foot forward inside your left hand. And just like we did on the other side, invite some movement. And from the low lunge, spin the back heel down, rise to warrior two on this side. Gaze beyond the left fingers. Keep the left hip open so the left knee stays over the ankle. It's not falling inward. Now chin comes to center. Flip the palms forward. And inhale. Exhale, fingertips come together. Stay in the lunge. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. This time, inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, warrior two. And stay here. Take a nice breath. And then hands come down to the mat, back to the low lunge. Step back to downward facing dog. We'll come forward to our high plank and set the knees down on the mat, kneeling plank. Just as before, we lower down only part way. Nice straight line, top of the head down through the knees. Strong upper body, strong lower body. Steady breath. One more breath. Then press yourself back up and back to child's pose. And all the way up to downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, walk your feet towards your hands and your hands towards your feet. Come to a forward fold at the center of the mat. And roll up to standing. And then we'll turn so that the toes are facing the long edge of the mat. You may want your block out in front of you. And step your feet out wide. The toes are still pointing to the long edge of the mat. So feet are parallel to the shorter edges of the mat. And press down through the entire sole of each foot. And then feel the energy of squeezing the feet towards one another. Wake up the inner thighs. Squeeze your glutes. Wake up the abs. And stretch your arms straight out to the sides from the shoulders. Palms face forward. Inhale. Exhale, bring your fingertips together to touch. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And then pause right here. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, begin to hinge forward. Move very slowly. Keep rooting down through the feet. Squeeze the inner thighs. Keep the arms stretched out in front. Eventually, we come all the way down. Let your hands come down to the mat or to the block. Shift weight into the balls of the feet. And then we find a halfway lift. So come up part way, lengthen, crown of the head forward, tailbone back. This is where your block might come in handy. You can place the block right below your face. You might not need the block. You can maybe place your hand right down below your face. The left hand is going to plant on the block or on the ground. We keep the nice length from the crown of the head down through the tailbone. Keep rooting down through the soles of the feet, maybe a little lighter in the heels, and send your right arm out and up for a twist. Press the ground away or the block away with your left hand. And slowly lower your hand back down. And now we'll plant the right hand below the face, either on the ground or on the block. Left arm out and up. Lower the hand back down. And now we'll slide the block back behind us just a little bit. We're getting ready for a yogi squat. So fingertips can stay down on the ground as we heel toe the feet in a bit, meeting up with heels in, toes out. Lower your hips down to the block, or maybe the hips hover above the mat. The entire sole of each foot rests on the mat. Use your elbows to work your legs open. Lift up through the crown of your head, lengthen through your spine. Find a little more of an opening in the chest as the shoulder blades squeeze towards each other, and you open the legs even more. And close your eyes. Lower your right ear towards your right shoulder. And back up to center. Left ear towards your left shoulder. And back up to center. And deep breath in. And deep breath out. And blink the eyes open. We're going to come off of the block, come down to have a seat on the mat facing the front of the mat. So you find your transition, however that works best for you. Have a seat facing the front of the mat and extend your legs out long. Shift your hips from side to side, find center. Reach your arms up to the sky, inhale. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Let your fingers come all the way down. Left hand comes to the outside of the right leg. Right hand comes down behind you. Press down through your right hand. Lift up through your chest. Lift up through the crown of your head. Relax your shoulders. Deepen the twist. And then back to center. When you reach center, you sweep the arms up to the sky once again. Inhale up. And exhale, open arm twist to the left. Let your arms come all the way down. Allow the twist to deepen with every breath. We'll come back to center. This is where your blanket might come in handy. You could slide the blanket under the knees or the small bolster if necessary. You can see how it feels. We're going to move into a forward fold. I like to shift the hips from side to side and send the tailbone back to encourage more of a flat back rather than a curled rounding. It's fine. So having that support under the knees can help to bring some space to the low back. Whether you've chosen to bring support in or not, Allow the belly to come down towards the thighs. Allow the chest to come down towards the knees. You can decide what works best for your arms. They can stay resting outside the legs. You could stretch your fingers out to the sides, let them rest. You could bring your arms behind you. You could also, depending on your flexibility, you could bring the block out beyond the soles of the feet and reach for the block as you fold forward. Whatever you've chosen, allow yourself to rest in the forward fold for several more breaths. And take your time, use the strength of your arms to make your way back to an upright position. And once you get there, bend the knees, plant the feet on the mat, take a couple of cow and cat stretches. We're getting ready to lie back into our Shavasana, our final relaxation. If you have all three of these props, maybe you use all of them. You could roll your blanket and use that behind you along with the block, or a little heart opener. Use the small bolster under the knees. That's an option. You might find a different position that's more comfortable for you. But whatever you choose, lie back, adjust, take a deep breath, and let go. Let go of any tension in your face, in your neck, your shoulders, your arms. Relax down through your whole torso and through your hips, through your legs. Relax your hands and your feet. They don't need to do anything right now. Just rest. Feel the rhythm of your breath. Maybe you feel the beating of your heart. Let yourself be right here, right now. Scan through your body, see if you can relax a little more anywhere. Thank yourself for coming to your mat today. You might choose to remain in this place of stillness longer, and that's fine. Remain as long as you'd like. But if you're ready to reawaken, begin with the breath and build some gentle energy. And then welcome some movement. Let your eyes stay closed as you find movement. Finding the movement that feels good to you. Eventually, you bend your knees and roll to your side, pausing on your side for at least a breath or two. And press yourself up to a seated position. Sitting nice and tall in your seated position. We'll bring the arms up to the sky. And palms come together to touch. Take a breath in. Exhale, thumbs to third eye center, the space between the eyebrows. And kind thoughts to yourself and others. And thumbs to the lips. Kind words to yourself and others. And thumbs to heart center. Kind actions to yourself and others. Thank you for allowing me to guide you today. Have a beautiful, sunny, snowy Thursday. Namaste.